GM. GM. So, it's a Saturday, so probably no day trades that I will take today. Very unlikely. So I'll look ahead at something more of like a swing. I find Bowden kind of interesting, just purely from a perspective of capitulation. So I mentioned this a few days back, that this was a potentially like a PS, if you're talking about Wyckoff, preliminary stop. So it's the false bottom, and then capitulation. High volume, breaks the low, and also coupled with people completely giving up, which they have. I mean, after that debate, everybody has roundly come out and said, fucking Bowden is done. Both Joe Biden himself and the Bowden coin, which I agree with. But from a short-term perspective, it would not be very hard for Bowden to have a significant rally to, 2 or 3x, right? Quite easily at some point. Now, I know that right away there's people thinking that, like, oh, everyone has to capitulate and I'm going to buy up a stack of Bowden and easy sell. So it's probably not an immediate term thing, although it tends to be. If people have started to panic and sell and they're all bad and they feel like shit and they're like, oh, I finally give up on Bowden, and then next thing, up the rally goes, right? I could see that happening, but there has to be some kind of catalyst, and Biden is not dropping out, right? He doesn't want to. Will they pull him out? Possibly. I've been reading though, and in Wisconsin and a few other states, it's actually too late to take him off the ballot. So there's certain states where it's too late to pull Biden out. So I don't know how that would work. Like if in certain states he can't be pulled out, then can you pull him out at all? And for what I've seen, the only valid way to replace him is death, which of course is possible. But how's the market pricing Biden actually being the nominee? Right? It's like people are pretty convinced that he's done, pretty convinced that he's going to be replaced. And the Bowden coin has collapsed because of that. What happens if Biden does become the nominee? Remain the nominee? What if it actually is just Biden running? And there is no replacement. And they're just going to say, fuck it. We're just going to steal the election anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter if we run a fucking cabbage as a candidate. We're going to find the votes regardless. Or whatever, right? So I think, if it becomes clear that he will run all the way and he won't be pulled out, this will go a lot higher. Like a lot higher. Just based on the kind of disbelief rally or the anger phase or whatever. So I'll kind of make this clear. I'm not buying Bowden here yet. If I do buy it, it'll be for probably a shorter term trade, and I'll let you know. I do think that Bowden itself is done in terms of I don't think it makes new all-time highs regardless of what happens towards the election, unless something changed. Now, like if it found a bottom, I went sideways, started to move up, started to look like these charts look whenever they've had nice reaccumulation, I'd be okay, well, no, if we're here in September, all-time high is definitely possible. But in that instance, I would rather just trade it from there. Right now, with all the information I have available, I think Bowden as an election play is done. But Bowden as a trade might not be. Where you have opportunities to just play the mismatch. People tend to overreact in both directions. So whenever Bowden was already down 93%, right? and then it had a little pop, and then it dumped again to be down 95% total from the top. I think that's an overreaction in the near term, in the short term, based on the fact that he had a bad debate. What were people expecting? People expecting to have a good debate, right? So, no, I think that there's probably some. I think there's probably some low time frame opportunities here for Bowden, and it'd be one I would keep an eye on and trade it very much with a low time frame, mindset. Like, you want to be looking at something like your bands, like on a bare minimum. I'd want to see like the hourly bands, for it to flip them. Be able to flip the hourly bands in the hourly 50, and you might see from there a nice squeeze up. Probably comes all the way back. But you're looking at like trading, and you're looking at like trading, taking just the actual trade on it, short term. Not expecting it to be like some high time frame, massive shifts. It's a very relevant coin. It's got a lot of emotions driven by it. It's got a lot of anger. A lot of people on Twitter are angry, and some people are calling it dead. If something's called dead, you've always got that revenge rally potential. So I think if you're a trader, not a holder, I wouldn't hold Bowden. I wouldn't hold it. I don't think it's a great hold. If you're a trader, it's got a lot of mind share. It's still got quite high volume and activity, even during the bearish phases. And I think that some kind of revenge rally is probably likely. So it's one to keep on your radar.